I brought it up, James, and I just said, like, I'm kind of, as a fan and even as an analyst, you're in this, like, we're in a groove every night. We're just watching games, which is fine, and I love it. But it's the same opponents. Like, the prep is like, okay, we just saw that. Okay, they put in 2 players. They put in that. And I've gone out of my way to watch games that would be, I guess, termed undesirable. I'm watching Arizona and, like, hey, Phil Kessel's had a really good season. Nobody knows that. If we, not that you would ever mention it that much, but
no,
you're right.
I thought O put it perfectly a couple of months ago when we were sitting in the studio and he said it's like the rest of the league is like the KHL, and you have to make, and not in terms of quality, but in terms of it seems so far away, and you're right. I was thinking about the Penguins today. Like, has a Sidney Crosby Pittsburgh Penguins 3 Stanley Cup winners in the last 15 years? Has a team ever been more under the radar?
No, they got 29 wins now
than this team, right? Like, I probably watched 5 Penguins games all year, and I'm looking at this team going, man, they're really coming together. And there's no, like, the old expression we always make fun of, nobody's talking about them really. So I think you're so right, Noodles, that you really had to make a conscious effort this year to follow what was going on in the rest of the league, and it's just such a weird. I've never been in a situation like this where there's so many great stories that have got little to no attention in our country.
You're right. Just to make your point, Pittsburgh and the Leafs have the exact same record.
Right.
And everyone, they played 47 games. Pittsburgh has 1 more win, but the Leafs have 2 more overtime, I guess, losses. But they both have 63 points, and both have.
Sid is having a fantastic year.
He's having an unbelievable
year. People are talking about the Selke and all this stuff for him. So it's
right.
And yet, have we done one panel? Have we mentioned Sidney Crosby in a panel on TSN this year? I don't think we have, which is
not once.
Which is not good for hockey.
Well, and here's one other thing. Has anybody noticed that Boston's won 6 games in a row?
Yeah.
And they've
Brad
been doing
Marchand's a heart candidate.
He's been unbelievable. Like, that's the guy with Rantanen on the COVID list. That's the only guy that will get even close to Matthews in goals right now. Technically, I guess McDavid too, but you know what I mean. Like, Marchand's been fantastic. I was looking at this, and you brought this up too. Like, when the Bruins were struggling, they still had 8 games to play against Buffalo. Now they're in the midst of this, and they're right at the end. They play again tonight against Buffalo. Like, they've really made up a lot of ground to the point where they've got 60 points, and they still got a couple games in hand on the teams that they're chasing. Like, they're a team that's kind of finding their way. And guess what? Taylor Hall looks like an NHL player again.
I think everything will flip as soon as the playoffs start. I think that, all of Canada will go from not paying a ton of attention to it'll be 1 Canadian series one night, 1 Canadian series the other night. But, you take that division, for example, like, that's going to be a crusher. Washington, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and Boston is going to be, those will be just, whatever the way it shakes down, those 2 series and then the final will be fantastic. And then everybody will find out just how good, a Colorado, Vegas. How about Minnesota? We never mention Minnesota even when they're good.
Unbelievable.
They're 29-19 and 3 or something like that. Like, it's
29-13 and 3.
Yeah, we always have our stats right on this show, James.
Sorry, I'm not so good at it. I'm surprised I got the wins right, but I was looking at it this morning. But it's I guess we just keep proving our point over and over in the segment, is that just it's a weird year, and I'm with you. This is the most long-winded way of ever answering Mark Roe's question, but I miss the days of having the teams come in and just knowing exactly where everybody is in the league, and it's just better the old way.